Did you guys notice the last two Star Wars trailers both started with someone popping up out of frame out of breath? Well, anyways, I just watched the Last Jedi trailer like 500 times in a row, and I noticed a whole bunch of things, and I had a lot of people hitting me up on Twitter asking me if I was gonna break down the trailer. So, you guys wanted it, let's do it. Let's get right into it. And I'm not saying like, let's get right into it when people are like, let's get right into it, and then like a cool graphic intro plays, or they go on some fucking, I did it just now, my bad. Let's get right into it. Look at it right off the top. You think it's stars, no it's not stars, boom. It's the fucking ground. It's the ground. Rey's hand, face pops up all sweating. Why is she sweaty? She's training. She's learning that she's gotta be a Jedi, and that shit ain't easy. Is she becoming a Jedi? Whatever, she's training in the Force, and that shit is not easy. Now we got Luke Skywalker narrating this part.
Breathe.
Now you see here she is moving these little pebbles. Your first thought is like, oh, she's manipulating little pebbles. No, she's not manipulating little pebbles. We already know she can manipulate a lightsaber. She pulled one from Kylo Ren's hands. What she's doing here is I think she's lifting something much bigger. Something so big that the pebbles are shaking. Now remember, Kylo Ren stopped a blaster mid-air, and we hadn't seen that before. So I'm one to believe that the stakes have been raised. The Force is stronger than ever. So where Luke had a hard time lifting an X-Wing, she might be lifting something the size of an X-Wing, or if you look at this other scene, maybe she's actually, you know, splitting the water here, or causing some sort of whirlpool thing. Maybe she's doing that, and maybe that all these scenes are connected here. Now we got these beautiful shots of Ahch-To, aka crazy old Luke's island of Jedi wonder. Now so Luke's like,
What do you say?
Rey says, and we get this shot of Leia, like this brand new souped up resistance base, I guess, I'm not sure. She's standing in front of the control panels, and we hear voices now from Leia from the original trilogy saying, help me, Obi-Wan. We get some Darth Vader breaths, and then we hear OG Obi-Wan say, seduced by the dark side, like when he was talking to Luke about what happened to his father. Then Rey narrates,
darkness.
And now we're showing Kylo Ren's helmet, all smashed up. But if you remember Kylo Ren's helmet, the last time we saw it, he dropped it right before he killed Daddy. We don't see it again after that. So why are they showing it to us smashed up? Why is it smashed up? Did he smash it up? When did that happen? We then hear Rey say that she sees a balance. Now we're treated to a shot of an old ass bookshelf with some Jedi texts, I bet. Here we see an old Jedi symbol on this book, and a hand which I bet belongs to Maz Kanata, because it's in orange, those grimy little orange fingers. And we hear Yoda's voice in the background saying, it surrounds us, it binds us, talking about the Force.
A balance.
Then we hear a sound of a lightsaber igniting, and Luke saying,
It's so much bigger.
And now cut to the awesome shot of the trailer where it's like an 80s montage sunset silhouette shot where Rey is there training and Luke is watching at the same time, smiling and nodding. And this part of the montage in 80s movies usually comes when you're certain that Rocky could actually put up a fight against Drago. So I wonder if they'll juxtapose her training with Luke there with some sweet 80s synth music and show Kylo simultaneously training. Similarly, with Snoke watching on.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
That definitely won't happen in the movie, but it's cool to imagine for a second, right? Now when Luke says it's so much bigger when referring to the light and the dark, it's worth noting that in the Clone Wars cartoons, they do refer to the Force being bigger than just the light side and the dark side. For example, these Force creatures. And this book right here, I'm hoping this book is the Journal of the Wills, which is something that has kind of been involved in Star Wars since the very beginning, but became canon recently, especially in Rogue One. Now, who are the Wills? The Wills are the people that taught Qui-Gon how to become Ghost Jedi. They have the Temple of the Wills, which is located on Jedha planet, the Jedi planet in Rogue One. And the Temple of the Wills is guarded by the Guardians of the Wills. This guy, this cutie pie right here, is a Guardian of the Wills. Now the Church of the Force, this guy, you know, believed that the Temple of the Wills was sacred. And so the Wills and the Jedis have this connection that we know nothing about beyond what I'm telling you right now, pretty much. Now we have pod racers, it looks like, with red smoke trails behind them, and they're flying towards AT-ATs. Now I'm kind of hoping that these Resistance pod racer type vehicles are equipped to handle AT-ATs, because AT-ATs have been around literally for half a century in the Star Wars fiction, and they're big fucking metal dinosaurs. We saw Luke topple one. If you were like, hey, that was really useful how we did that, why don't we make these cool little land speeders that basically have tow cables and are made to dismantle AT-ATs? That would be cool. But then again, I just made all this shit up. So here are the facts. This planet is called Crate. It's a mineral planet, and these speeders are dropping some sort of red cloud. We don't know what the red stuff is. That wasn't answered. This planet has lots of mines, and these mines provided resources for the rebels in the original trilogies. So it's an important planet, and it's confirmed that this will be the site of a major battle between the First Order and the Resistance. And also those AT-ATs that they're flying against, they could be the AT-4Xs, which is a new AT-AT that was made for this movie, aka Gorilla Walkers. This is just a random shot of a sleeping black man. It doesn't pertain to the story. I don't know why they would insert this shot into the trailer. Just kidding. That's dumb. That's a dumb joke. Well, my boy Ega John said that Finn does come to in the movie, and when he does, he said, this time he's not playing around, a quote. So, I mean, I've said it before, I believe Finn will end up with a lightsaber in his hands by the end of episode 9. Now we get this awesome hero shot of the Millennium Falcon, and then you get sad for a second, because you're like, wait a second, who the fuck is flying the damn thing? This Asian woman. This woman was introduced as Rose, a maintenance worker for the Resistance, and the biggest new addition to Star Wars. She's a Resistance maintenance worker, so I would assume that she's probably working around ships often and probably finds herself on the Millennium Falcon, maybe? I don't know, apparently she gets whisked away on an adventure with our heroes. So we see the Millennium Falcon shooting down TIE fighters, and the last time we saw the Millennium Falcon, Chewbacca and R2 had brought Rey to Ahch-To. Now, do they stay there? Does Rey leave Ahch-To? Is that Rey in the Millennium Falcon? Or do Chewie and R2 kind of like, hey, there you go, you got it. We're gonna head back and take the Millennium Falcon with us. And they take it back, which is interesting to me because then that could be Poe and BB-8 inside the Millennium Falcon with Chewie and R2. Since Poe's sexy black X-Wing just got blown up, he has to get a lift in the Millennium Falcon with those two, and that has all the makings for an excellent Star Wars sitcom when you think about it. A Millennium Falcon with Poe Dameron, R2-D2, BB-8, and Chewbacca. That alone is hours and hours and hours of content. Excellent premium quality content. Here's a shot of Rey running with her lightsaber, or Luke's lightsaber, or Anakin's lightsaber, and she's running, and it looks really important. And then here's a shot of Kylo Ren, showing us how lucky he is that his scar turned into a sexy battle wound. And if I were him, I wouldn't rock the helmet either. I would just sport the sexy battle scar, you know what I mean? I'd be like, psst, sup? Yeah, I'm on the dark side, pretty dark, killed my dad. This is that burning scene from the flashback where we see Luke touching R2, and you can kind of connect these scenes together, this one to that one and this one. Now, I don't know if this Phasma scene is actually connected to the temple scene, because look at the floor, it looks so clean. It looks like it might be in a ship or a base or a hangar or something of the sort. But maybe that's just the interior of this Jedi temple. I don't know. If all goes well, we'll see younglings get murdered by Captain Phasma. And then Luke Skywalker blows our fucking minds when he says,
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Now, this might not be the hypest Luke Skywalker we've gotten in movies or stories. Daisy Ridley said so. She referenced it as, you know, she had high expectations for Luke, the character, and it doesn't always meet them.
Oh, wait, put your weapon. I mean you no harm. I am wondering, why are you here?
And it makes you think it might be one of those times where, like, you know, you have this vision of someone being so awesome, and then you get there and Luke Skywalker's all like, I don't really want to talk. pretty sad about what happened. Which isn't surprising that Luke Skywalker wouldn't be so enthused about the Jedi Order anymore. I mean, look what it did to his dad, look what it did to him, look what it did to his nephew and Han Solo. But that being said, obviously Luke is good. Luke is good. Maybe he wants to have his own version of the Jedis. Like maybe Luke is like, hey, I like being a Jedi, but not as much as I like sex. So, new Jedi Order. Everything like Jedis, but we also have sex. I'm just using that as an example. Another way to look at his final quote is the dark side way of looking at it, where he says, I only know one thing. And then you're like, uh-oh, Sith alert. You only know one thing. That's an absolute. And only the Sith deal in absolutes. In the end, bringing it back to the Wills, this is something that was quoted from the Journal of the Wills in the novelization of The Force Awakens, and this is canon. I think it sums up perfectly what I'm gathering Luke Skywalker's feelings and motivations are in The Last Jedi. First comes the day, then comes the night. After the darkness shines through the light. The difference, they say, is only made right by the resolving of gray through refined Jedi sight. Shit's fucking straightforward to me. Alright guys, let me know what you think of this video. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I read every single one of them. Let's get in some good debates. And yeah, leave a comment. I read them all, I swear. Even the dumb ones.